Do you know the feeling of being stuck in life? When no matter what you try, it feels like life can't advance? You're not stuck because life won't change. You're stuck because you keep showing up as the version of you that hasn't. Every morning, the same thoughts run through your head, the same emotions cycle through your body, and the same story plays out in your nervous system like a song stuck on repeat. You might visualize, script, or try to affirm something new into existence, but if you wake up broadcasting the same frequency as yesterday, reality can only mirror it back to you. Here's the truth that most people never realize. The identity you built to survive, the self that was shaped by rejection, disappointment, and pain, has now become the cage keeping you from evolving. It feels familiar, even safe, but it's not who you really are. And as long as you stay loyal to it, the field will keep collapsing the same reality over and over. But there is another version of you, a future self who already exists on a higher frequency. They are not distant, they're not imaginary, they're as real as this moment, waiting for you to stop repeating the past and finally tune into them. In this video, I'm going to show you how to break that loop, release the weight of your old self, and step into the identity that already lives in alignment with the reality you've been asking for. Part 1. Meeting the old self. Let's get honest. The person you call me right now is not really you. It's an identity, a construct, a survival mechanism that your nervous system built to protect you from pain. That identity was shaped in childhood, in moments of rejection, failure, disappointment, or fear. You didn't consciously choose it. It was chosen for you by experience, carved into your biology as a defense against being hurt again. At first, it served you. It kept you safe, cautious, and alert. But over time, that safety became a prison. The mask became so familiar, so comfortable, that you forgot it was even a mask. You started believing the voice in your head that says, don't expect too much, stay small, play it safe, keep being who you were. And here's the paradox. Your old self isn't malicious. It's not broken. It was simply designed for survival, not expansion. But the dreams you've seen, the visions that keep tugging at you, they're not dreams for your old identity. They're glimpses of your true self, the self beyond the mask. Think about this. Each morning you wake up in the same bed with the same thoughts running through your head before you've even taken your first breath of the day. That familiar heaviness, the internal dialogue that whispers, "Here we go again." That's not your higher self speaking, that's your nervous system rehearsing the past. Neuroscience confirms this. By the time you're 35 years old, 95% of who you believe yourself to be is nothing more than memorized patterns, behaviors, emotional reactions, unconscious habits, conditioned beliefs, etc. In other words, most of you isn't really you at all. It's programming. Your body has become addicted to those emotions. It knows how to do anxiety, disappointment, anger, or self-doubt better than it knows how to do joy, trust, or expansion. Familiar suffering feels safer than unfamiliar possibility. Your nervous system clings to it because what's familiar always masquerades as what's safe. This is why change feels so difficult. You're not just trying to think new thoughts, you're trying to rewire an entire biological system that has memorized your past self as its baseline identity. That's why it feels like gravity pulling you back into old patterns. It's not that you're weak, it's that your body is loyal to the old self. But here's the truth you need to see clearly. The old self is not who you truly are, it's a survival program. It's an outdated operating system, and just because it's been running for years doesn't mean it defines you. The moment you recognize it as a program, you gain power. Think of it like this. The old self is a song stuck on repeat. It plays the same emotional melody over and over, and reality simply dances to it. Your external world reflects the rhythm of your internal state. If the song doesn't change, neither does your life. Awareness is the first disruption. When you can step back and see that what you've been calling yourself is actually a construct, something loosens. The moment you stop identifying with the old self, you create a space. And in that space, the possibility of a new reality begins. Part 2. Why the old self repeats reality. Once you see that your old self is a program, the next question is, why does it feel so impossible to escape it? The answer lies in biology and energy. Every thought you think sends out an electrical signal. Every emotion you feel radiates magnetically. Together, your thoughts and emotions form a broadcast, a frequency that you're constantly transmitting into the quantum field. The field doesn't respond to what you want. It responds to what you are. It doesn't mirror your desires, it mirrors your state of being. So imagine this. You wake up every day rehearsing the same emotions, regret, doubt, frustration, etc. And your nervous system runs those chemicals like a well-worn groove in your brain. To your conscious mind, you might say, today I want abundance. Today I want love. Today I want change. But your emotional broadcast is saying something very different. It's saying, I am still lacking. I am still in doubt. I still fear. Which one do you think the quantum field listens to? Always the broadcast, always the vibration. Bruce Lipton, the biologist behind the study of epigenetics, explains that the moment you change your perception, you change the chemistry of your body, which means your biology isn't fixed. It's responding to the lens you're looking through. If your lens is old, your chemistry is old. And if your chemistry is old, your reality stays old. Quantum physics takes it even further. The observer effect tells us that reality doesn't exist independently. It collapses based on the state of the observer. That means you're not just watching life unfold, you are selecting from infinite probabilities based on your internal state. You are not separate from the field, you are the field collapsed into form. Think of yourself as a tuning fork. If you're vibrating as your old self, the universe doesn't punish you, it harmonizes with you. It keeps delivering experiences that match the frequency you're broadcasting. Why? Because the field is loyal to coherence. It must reflect who you're being. This is why so many people feel stuck in cycles of repetition. Not because you're cursed, not because they're blocked, but because they're energetically identical to who they were yesterday. They're waking up in the same identity, feeling the same emotions, broadcasting the same signal. And so reality obliges by staying the same. Let's put this in perspective. You can visualize, script, journal, say affirmations all day long. But if beneath those words you're still rehearsing guilt, still embodying shame, still addicted to fear, then your frequency hasn't changed. You're asking for one thing while being another. It's like trying to pick up a radio station on the wrong dial. You can wait to hear the music all you want, but unless you shift the frequency, all you'll get is static. And here's the hard truth. You don't manifest what you want, you manifest who you are. That's why breaking free isn't about adding more affirmations or trying harder. It's about unbecoming. It's about releasing the chemical addiction to your old self so your body stops dragging yesterday into today. Because until that happens, no matter how much you try, your old self will keep collapsing the same reality over and over. Part 3. Releasing the old self. So now we know the old self is a program, a mask built for survival, rehearsed into our biology, and broadcast into the quantum field like a frequency on repeat. But here's the empowering truth. If it was programmed, it can be deprogrammed. If it was practiced, it can be unpracticed. The first step isn't destruction, it's awareness. Because the moment you observe the old self, instead of unconsciously being it, you create separation. This is what mystics call being the witness, and what quantum physics calls the observer effect. When you see the old self as a pattern, you're no longer the pattern yourself. You're the consciousness witnessing it. And in that awareness, you've already cracked the loop. The second step is release. And release doesn't mean erasing the past, it means honoring it, thanking it, and retiring it. Picture your old identity like a heavy book bag you've carried for years. It was necessary once. It held the tools you needed to survive. But now, you're walking with a bent spine, weighed down by baggage that no longer belongs to you. To release is to take the book bag off, to set it down gently and say, "Thank you. You kept me alive, but you're not the one who will carry me forward." And here's where it gets real. That release isn't just a thought. It's a biochemical detox, because your body has grown addicted to the emotions of the old self. Fear, guilt, unworthiness. They've been running like familiar chemicals through your system for years. When you stop rehearsing them, your body will crave them, just like an addict craves a substance. That's why change feels so uncomfortable at first. It's not because you're broken, it's because you're detoxing from your old identity. Your nervous system is literally recalibrating itself. The third step is alignment. And alignment means consciously choosing to embody the frequency of the self who already lives your future. Not someday, not tomorrow, but right now in the present moment. Think of it this way. Your higher self isn't waiting in the distance. It already exists in the field. It's vibrating in a parallel frequency. A different version of you that is as real as the one sitting here listening right now. The way you access that self isn't by chasing it, it's by tuning to it. Ask yourself, how would that version of me breathe? How would they carry themselves? How would they walk into a room? What thoughts would they allow? What emotions would they broadcast? And then begin to embody that in the present moment. Not perfectly, but consistently. Because the moment you shift your vibration, the field begins to rearrange. Life bends to coherence. Reality organizes itself to match who you are being. And here's the paradox. You don't become someone new. You release everything that was never you to begin with. The mask, the defense mechanisms, the survival codes, all of it falls away. What remains is not an upgraded self, but your true self. The one who is whole, the one who is free, the one who doesn't need to manifest because they live in resonance with the life they've always carried within. Or the shift into the new self. This is where everything comes full circle. You are not broken, you are not behind, you are not stuck because your future isn't real. You are stuck because you've been loyal to an identity that was built for survival and not expansion. And now for the first time, you've seen it clearly. You've seen how your biology, your subconscious, and even the quantum field itself have been conspiring to keep you on the same frequency of being. Not because you're cursed, but because you kept broadcasting the same signal. And this is the gift. The old self does not need to be destroyed. It only needs to be released, retired, and honored for keeping you alive. And then let go so your true self can finally breathe. Because your true self, the one you've glimpsed in visions, in synchronicities, in quiet moments of alignment, is already alive in another frequency. They're not a fantasy, they're not a dream. They are you, stripped of a survival mechanism, vibrating in freedom. And the bridge between who you've been and who you are becoming is not effort, not willpower, it's not forcing, it's coherence. It's choosing, moment by moment, to no longer collapse into the past, but to vibrate as the self who already lives your future. That's why this shift begins now, in the present moment. Not tomorrow, not when the external proof arrives, but here, with a breath, a decision, and a new broadcast. So in conclusion, you don't manifest what you want, you manifest who you are being. And the moment you choose to align, life cannot help but rearrange to your alignment. Reality bends, the field responds, and the version of you who is free, abundant, and radiant, the one you thought you had to chase, finally becomes the only version that's left. So here's your invitation. Don't just let this be another video you've watched. Let it be the moment you declare to yourself, the old me is released and the new me is here. If this message resonated, leave that exact phrase in the comments. The old me is released. Not as a ritual, not as empty words, but as an energetic imprint. A ripple into the quantum field saying, I am done collapsing into who I was. I am aligned with who I truly am. And if you're ready to keep tuning into this frequency, to keep aligning, remembering, and releasing, and rising into your highest self, subscribe to this channel. Not just to stay connected, but to stay coherent. Because this isn't just content, it's a field, a space where we awaken together, where we elevate together holistically, where we shift together and rewire reality itself